Imagine for a moment, what would your life look like if everything you've ever dreamed of simply flowed to you? The relationships, the career success, the financial abundance, the vibrant health, all of it manifesting with an almost magical ease. Has this ever happened to you, where you caught a glimpse of how life could be if the universe just cooperated? But here's the uncomfortable question we need to address. Why isn't this your reality right now? You've probably heard about the law of attraction. Maybe you've read The Secret, watched the documentaries, or followed countless manifestation gurus online promising that your thoughts create your reality. Perhaps you've even tried vision boards, affirmations, and meditation practices, all designed to help you attract your desires. Yet something still feels missing, doesn't it? There's that nagging gap between what you're trying to manifest and what's actually showing up in your life. What if I told you that the traditional understanding of manifestation is fundamentally incomplete? That there's a hidden dimension to the law of attraction that most teachers never mention, a crucial element that might explain exactly why you're not receiving everything you want despite your best efforts. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to share could completely transform your manifestation practice. This isn't about adding more techniques to your spiritual toolkit. It's about understanding the subtle energetic blockages that have been invisibly sabotaging your manifestation efforts all along. The truth is, manifestation isn't just about positive thinking or visualizing. Success, those are important components, yes, but they're merely the surface of a much deeper process. When we focus solely on the thoughts we're thinking and the visions we're creating, we miss the underlying energetic patterns that actually determine what we attract. Think about it like this. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract success while others struggle despite doing all the right manifestation practices? What's the difference between these two types of people? The answer lies not in what they're doing externally, but in what's happening beneath the surface, in their subconscious beliefs, their energetic alignment, and most importantly, in how they're unconsciously blocking their own desires. What you're about to discover might surprise you, especially if you've been studying manifestation for years, because the real reason you're not getting everything you want has very little to do with not wanting it enough, not visualizing clearly enough, or not saying enough affirmations. Instead, it has everything to do with an invisible force that's operating within you right now, one that's often working directly against your conscious desires. Join our conscious community by subscribing today. Hit the subscribe button to receive more insights on manifestation, gratitude, and aligning with your highest purpose. Your journey of transformation belongs here. When we explore the spiritual and scientific aspects of the law of attraction, we're really examining two sides of the same coin. Ancient wisdom traditions have long taught that our thoughts create our reality, but modern quantum physics is now catching up with what mystics have known for millennia. At its core, the law of attraction operates on the principle that like attracts like. From a spiritual perspective, this means your inner state, your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions broadcasts a specific energetic frequency into the universe. That frequency then attracts corresponding experiences and circumstances back to you. It's like tuning a radio to a specific station. You'll only receive what matches your frequency. Science offers fascinating support for this concept through quantum physics. Researchers have observed that subatomic particles exist in states of probability until they're observed, suggesting that consciousness itself influences physical reality. The observer effect demonstrates that our attention and expectation literally help shape what manifests in our experience. Another scientific principle at work is neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. When you consistently focus on positive outcomes, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways to recognize opportunities that align with those thoughts. Your reticular activating system begins filtering information differently, bringing relevant possibilities into your awareness that you might have missed before. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring the crucial role of vibration in the manifestation process. Everything in our universe, including our thoughts and emotions, exists as energy vibrating at different frequencies. Higher vibrations are associated with emotions like joy, gratitude, and love, while lower vibrations correspond to fear, doubt, and resentment. The transformation occurs when you understand that you can consciously choose to elevate your vibration. This isn't just spiritual talk. Your emotional state creates measurable changes in your body's electromagnetic field. HeartMath Institute research has shown that positive emotional states create coherent heart rhythms that can be detected several feet away from your body. This vibrational alignment is the hidden truth behind manifestation success stories. Those who manifest effectively aren't just thinking positive thoughts. They're embodying the feeling state of already having what they desire. They're vibrationally matched with their desired outcome. It's not about wanting something desperately, it's about resonating with it energetically. Your journey toward effective manifestation requires understanding that your vibration is affected by everything. The music you listen to, the people you spend time with, the media you consume, even the food you eat. Each choice either raises or lowers your energetic frequency. The revelation here is that manifestation isn't something you do occasionally through visualization exercises. It's a continuous process happening every moment through your vibrational offering. The impact of understanding vibrational alignment cannot be overstated. When you maintain a high vibration consistently, you naturally attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that match that frequency. This explains why sometimes things manifest effortlessly, while at other times, despite your best efforts, your desires remain elusive. Maintaining awareness of your vibration requires developing sensitivity to how different thoughts and experiences feel in your body. That tight sensation in your chest when worrying about money. That's a clear signal of vibrational mismatch with abundance. The expansive feeling when imagining your dream life? That's alignment. If you're resonating with these insights about vibrational attraction, type frequency matched in the comments. I'd love to know who's tracking with these deeper aspects of manifestation. Manifestation isn't just about wishing, it's about becoming. When you truly internalize the energy of wealth, when it becomes part of your identity, rather than something external you're chasing, the universe responds in kind. This inner transformation is the hidden catalyst that most manifestation teachings miss entirely. I've witnessed this phenomenon countless times in my own journey. When I stopped treating wealth as something out there that I needed to grab and started embodying the frequency of abundance, doors began opening seemingly without effort. It wasn't magic, it was alignment. Think about the person you're trying to become. What energy do they carry? How do they make decisions? How do they view money? When you begin living as that version of yourself now, you create an energetic resonance that naturally attracts corresponding circumstances. This is where most people experience a profound revelation in their manifestation practice. They've been focusing on the outer results, the mansion, the luxury car, the six-figure income, without realizing that these are merely reflections of an inner state. The real transformation happens within. When your energy shifts, people sense it. They can't quite put their finger on what's different about you, but something has changed. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more confidence. You make decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. And this energetic signature becomes a beacon that draws in aligned opportunities. I remember working with a client who had been struggling financially for years. She'd tried every manifestation technique imaginable, vision boards, affirmations, the works, but remained stuck. When we dove deeper, we discovered she was still carrying the energy of not enough in everything she did. Her words said abundance, but her energy screamed scarcity. Don't miss the next step in your spiritual evolution. Subscribe now to access exclusive content on consciousness, inner alignment, and practical wisdom for everyday enlightenment. Become part of our growing family. Once she began the inner work of actually becoming the wealthy version of herself, making decisions as that person would, setting boundaries as that person would, valuing her time as that person would, her external reality began shifting rapidly. Within months, she'd attracted a business partnership that quadrupled her income. This wasn't coincidence. It was energetic coherence. The most fascinating aspect of this approach is how it removes the struggle from manifestation. When you're truly aligned with the energy of wealth, you don't need to chase opportunities. They find you. You don't need to convince people of your value. They feel it. You don't need to obsess over manifesting money. It flows to you through channels you couldn't have planned. This is the profound simplicity that lies at the heart of effective manifestation. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. When you become the embodiment of what you desire, you create an energetic inevitability around its manifestation. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring the specific mindset shifts that create this powerful internal transformation. Understanding these subtle yet crucial distinctions will completely transform how you approach manifestation and the results you experience. If what I've shared resonates with the challenges you've been facing in your manifestation journey, write energetic alignment in the comments below. Now, let me reveal something that changed my entire perspective on manifestation. While many teachers focus on the mechanics of visualizing and affirmations, the deeper truth lies in understanding the energetic transaction happening beneath the surface. This isn't just about asking the universe for what you want, it's about becoming energetically aligned with it. Think about the last time someone pursued you romantically with desperation. Did that energy attract you or repel you? That same principle governs all manifestation. The universe responds not to your words, but to your energetic signature. When you chase with need, you're broadcasting a frequency of lack. And ironically, that's exactly what you'll attract more of. The hidden transformation happens when you shift from chasing to magnetically attracting. This requires a fundamental mindset revolution where you recognize your inherent worthiness. The book articulates this beautifully through the concept of becoming the energy you seek to attract. It's a profound revelation that most manifestation teachers never fully address. Behind the scenes of successful manifestation is always this truth. Your external reality is merely a reflection of your internal state. When you're operating from a place of wholeness rather than emptiness, you become naturally magnetic to your desires. I've witnessed this journey unfold countless times with clients who finally understood this principle. Let me guide you through the practical application. Instead of desperately visualizing that relationship, career opportunity, or financial abundance, try something counterintuitive. Cultivate genuine gratitude for what you already have while simultaneously knowing your worth. This creates an energetic state the book calls relaxed attraction, where you're open to receiving without the desperate energy of chasing. The impact of this shift is remarkable. When you're no longer energetically chasing your desires, they often begin appearing in your life with surprising synchronicity. It's as though the universe responds to your changed frequency by delivering experiences that match it. This isn't mystical thinking, it's a practical understanding of energy dynamics. What fascinates me about this approach is how it bridges ancient wisdom with modern psychology. The ancients understood that our relationship with desire determines our experience of life. Modern psychology confirms that our subconscious expectations shape our perceptions and behaviors. The book brilliantly synthesizes these perspectives into actionable wisdom. I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining how this principle applies specifically to relationships, career, and spiritual growth. Each domain requires slightly different applications of the same core truth. The universal law remains consistent, but how we embody it shifts based on the context. For relationships, this means developing self-love that makes external validation unnecessary. For career growth, it means bringing value from a place of confidence rather than neediness. For spiritual growth, it means surrendering attachment to specific outcomes while maintaining clear intention. If what I'm describing resonates with your experiences, write "I'm done chasing" in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective on how this principle has shown up in your life. When we consider manifestation through the lens of biblical wisdom, we uncover a profound revelation. Manifesting from certainty rather than fear creates an entirely different energetic blueprint for our desires. In Hebrews 11:1, faith is described as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This perfectly encapsulates the essence of divine manifestation, operating from an unwavering knowingness that what you've requested is already yours in the spiritual realm. Think about how differently you approach life when you're certain of an outcome versus when you're riddled with doubt. When we manifest from fear, we're essentially telling the universe, "I don't really believe this will happen, but I'm desperately hoping it might." That energetic signature carries a vibration of lack and desperation, which attracts more of the same into our experience. The internal journey of transformation begins when we shift from doing to becoming. This is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of manifestation in modern spiritual conversations. Many believe that manifestation requires an endless checklist of actions, vision boards, affirmations, scripting, and while these tools can be valuable, they miss the fundamental truth. Manifestation is an inside job. I've witnessed countless individuals exhaust themselves with spiritual busywork while neglecting the inner metamorphosis that true manifestation demands. The Bible illustrates this principle beautifully when Jesus says in Matthew 6:33, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." The kingdom, as Jesus clarifies elsewhere, is within you. This internal focus represents the ultimate manifestation mindset. When we prioritize becoming, expanding our consciousness, healing our limiting beliefs, and aligning with our divine nature, we naturally elevate into the vibration of our desires. The outer world simply becomes a reflection of our inner reality. This understanding revolutionizes our approach to manifestation because it frees us from the exhausting hamster wheel of doing and redirects our energy toward the more powerful work of being. The hidden truth that many spiritual teachers overlook is that manifestation isn't about attracting what you want. It's about revealing what was always yours by divine birthright. When you truly grasp this revelation, manifestation becomes less about acquisition and more about remembrance, remembering who you truly are as a co-creator with unlimited potential. This perspective shift creates a profound ripple effect across every area of life. Suddenly, the journey toward your desires becomes less about striving and more about arriving at the natural expression of your authentic self. The obstacles that once seemed like roadblocks reveal themselves as opportunities for expanded awareness and deeper alignment. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how this principle of becoming, rather than doing, applies specifically to abundance manifestation. The majority of people approach financial prosperity with a doing mindset, working harder, networking more aggressively, constantly hustling. But those who truly understand spiritual economics recognize that sustainable abundance flows from an internal state of worthiness and receptivity. If something in this message has resonated with your own spiritual journey, write in the comments, "I'm shifting from doing to becoming." This simple acknowledgement can be a powerful intention setter for your manifestation practice moving forward. The findings from quantum physics genuinely transformed how I view manifestation. When Max Planck declared that all matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force, he was echoing what ancient spiritual traditions had been teaching for millennia. This intersection between cutting-edge science and ancient wisdom creates a powerful validation that we're on the right track. Think about it. When quantum physicists tell us that subatomic particles exist in states of possibility, until observed, they're essentially confirming what spiritual teachers have long claimed: consciousness affects reality. Our thoughts, our attention, our very focus seems to collapse these waves of possibility into concrete experience. What's fascinating is how this understanding bridges seemingly disparate worldviews. The monk meditating on a mountain and the physicist in a laboratory are uncovering the same fundamental truth from different angles. Reality is responsive to consciousness. This revelation had a profound impact on my personal journey. I realized that if everything truly is energy, vibrating at different frequencies, then my thoughts, which are energy patterns themselves, must be influencing the fabric of my experience in ways I hadn't fully appreciated. The boundary between inner and outer reality becomes far more permeable than our conventional understanding suggests. Consider the implications of the observer effect in your daily life. When you consistently observe yourself as capable, successful, or loved, you're not just adopting a positive mindset, you're actually participating in calling that reality into physical manifestation. The hidden truth is that we're not passive recipients of our circumstances, but active co-creators. What's often overlooked in discussions about manifestation is the importance of coherence between your conscious thoughts and your subconscious beliefs. When we understand energy as the foundational substance of reality, we can see why an underlying belief that contradicts your conscious desire creates what spiritual teachers call resistance and what scientists might term interference patterns. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining how our emotional states function as powerful attractors in this energy-based reality. Emotions aren't just subjective internal experiences. They're dynamic energy signatures that radiate outward and interact with the quantum field around us. When spiritual teachers talk about raising your vibration, they're describing a very real phenomenon that quantum physics helps explain. Have you noticed how differently your day unfolds when you wake up in a state of gratitude versus a state of anxiety? That's not just psychological, it's vibrational. Your emotional state isn't just coloring your perception, it's actually influencing which possibilities from the quantum field collapse into your experience. The revelations from both modern physics and ancient wisdom traditions point to the same conclusion. Consciousness and energy are the fundamental building blocks of what we experience as physical reality. This understanding brings profound responsibility because it means that each of us is continually influencing the collective field through our individual vibration. If this perspective resonates with you, write in the comments, "I am a conscious creator." I'd love to know how many of you have already recognized this power within yourselves. The hidden Power within manifestation lies at this intersection of faith and action. You see, the universe doesn't simply respond to what we say we want, it responds to what we energetically believe we deserve. This is where many people encounter a fundamental roadblock in their manifestation journey. They verbalize desires while internally harboring doubts about their worthiness or the possibility of achievement. Think about it like this. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. That would disrupt the very process you're trying to nurture. Similarly, manifestation requires a certain level of trust in the unseen process, what we might call faith. It's about holding a vision so clearly in your mind that even when external evidence suggests otherwise, you remain unwavering in your conviction. This unwavering belief creates a powerful energetic signature that begins to reshape your reality from the inside out. I've witnessed remarkable transformations in people who maintained faith despite seemingly impossible circumstances. There's something profoundly impactful about aligning your conscious desires with your subconscious beliefs. But here's where many manifestation teachings fall short. Faith without gratitude is like trying to drive a car with only 3 wheels. You might move forward, but the journey will be unnecessarily difficult. Gratitude operates as a magnetic force that accelerates manifestation beyond what most people realize. When you practice genuine gratitude for what you already have, even the smallest blessings, you shift your vibration to one of abundance rather than lack. This mindset shift is subtle, yet revolutionary. You're essentially telling the universe, I recognize and appreciate what's already been provided, and I'm ready for more. This creates a receptivity that allows manifestations to flow toward you with less resistance. I've discovered through my own journey that gratitude isn't just a nice spiritual practice. It's a practical manifestation tool that creates a feedback loop of positive energy. Each time you express genuine thanks for something in your life, you're reinforcing neural pathways that make you more attuned to noticing additional things to be grateful for. This perpetual cycle elevates your vibrational state, making you more magnetically aligned with your desires. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how we can integrate these principles into daily practice. There's a particularly powerful technique that combines both faith and gratitude in a way that creates undeniable momentum in your manifestation process. What's fascinating is how this approach creates ripple effects beyond just achieving your desires. It fundamentally transforms how you experience everyday life. The revelations I've had while working with people from all walks of life show that those who master this combination experience a profound shift in their perception of reality itself. Think about someone you know who seems to have that golden touch, where opportunities and good fortune naturally flow their way. In most cases, they've mastered this faith-gratitude dynamic, often without explicitly naming it as manifestation. They've cultivated an inner certainty, coupled with genuine appreciation that makes them a natural attractor for their desires. The behind-the-scenes work of manifestation isn't always glamorous. It involves confronting limiting beliefs that have often been with us since childhood. It requires a willingness to examine the stories we tell ourselves about what's possible. But this internal work creates the foundation upon which successful manifestation can occur. If what I'm sharing resonates with your experiences or aspirations, write in the comments, I'm ready to receive. This simple affirmation acknowledges both your openness to the manifestation process and your gratitude for what's coming your way. What's fascinating about the entrepreneurial journey is how success comes when we stop fighting the current. This isn't passive surrender, it's strategic alignment. I've seen entrepreneurs exhaust themselves trying to force outcomes, pushing against market realities, or attempting to control every variable. The transformation happens when you recognize the difference between determination and unnecessary struggle. Think about water for a moment. It doesn't fight the rocks in its path. It simply finds another way around. This natural intelligence is something we can embody in our business approach. When you encounter resistance, it might be a signal to adjust your course rather than double down on a flawed direction. One revelation that changed everything for me was understanding that business flow states aren't accidental. They're the result of alignment between your authentic self and your entrepreneurial expression. The marketplace has an uncanny ability to sense incongruence. Customers can feel when your offering comes from a place of genuine value versus desperate need for revenue. This inner-outer synchronicity is rarely discussed in traditional business education, yet it's often the hidden truth behind sustainable success. I've witnessed entrepreneurs completely transform their results by first transforming their relationship with their work. When you're no longer pushing against reality but dancing with it, opportunities appear that were previously invisible. The journey toward this kind of alignment isn't always comfortable. It requires brutal honesty about what's working and what isn't. Sometimes the most powerful decision you can make is to stop doing something that once seemed essential. This letting go creates space for what truly matters to emerge. When your internal compass is calibrated correctly, external circumstances begin to shift accordingly. It's not mystical thinking, it's practical psychology. Your decisions become clearer, your energy more focused, your interactions more authentic. Clients and collaborators respond to this clarity with increased trust. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how this principle applies to specific business challenges. The impact of inner alignment extends beyond general business philosophy and into concrete areas like team building, marketing strategy, and financial decision-making. What's remarkable is how this shift in approach can reduce the friction that typically exhausts entrepreneurs. When your business activities flow from a centered place, you'll notice less resistance in virtually every aspect of your operation. Teams collaborate more effectively, customers engage more enthusiastically, and you navigate challenges with greater resilience. This isn't to say challenges disappear, they don't, but your relationship with those challenges fundamentally changes. Instead of seeing obstacles as enemies, you begin to recognize them as valuable feedback mechanisms guiding you toward better alignment. This perspective shift alone can transform a struggling business into a thriving one. The most successful entrepreneurs I've worked with have all discovered this truth in their own way. They've learned that external success is the natural byproduct of internal clarity. When you're deeply connected to why you're building your business and who you're serving, the how begins to reveal itself with remarkable elegance. If you're nodding along as you hear this, drop in the comments. I'm ready to flow, not force. I'd love to know who's connecting with this perspective shift. The vibrational frequency you maintain doesn't just influence how you experience life, it determines what life experiences are drawn to you. Think about those moments when you've been in a state of pure joy or deep gratitude. Didn't it seem like more positive experiences naturally flowed your way? This isn't coincidence. It's the universe responding to your energetic signature. When you consciously elevate your vibration, you're essentially recalibrating your personal magnetic field. You're telling the universe, this is the quality of experience I'm aligned with now. The incredible thing about this inner transformation is that it requires no external validation or permission. You alone hold the key to shifting your frequency. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because understanding the role of intent and clarity in this process is absolutely crucial. These aren't just abstract concepts. They're the architectural blueprints for your manifestations. Think of intent as the ignition system of creation. Without a clear, focused intention, your energy scatters in countless directions, diluting your manifestation power. I've witnessed countless individuals who struggle to attract their desires simply because they haven't committed to a specific outcome. They hover in the realm of maybe and someday, which places their desires in a perpetual waiting room. Clarity, meanwhile, acts as the refining process. It's not enough to say, "I want to be successful." What does success mean to you specifically? How will it feel? What will your daily experience be like? When you crystallize these details, you're essentially programming the universe's GPS with exact coordinates rather than a vague destination. This journey of manifestation reveals a hidden truth many overlook. The external results we seek are actually secondary to the internal shifts that precede them. The person you become through this process, more intentional, more aware, more aligned, is perhaps the greatest gift of all. I've observed a fascinating pattern in those who master this practice. They develop an almost preternatural ability to distinguish between authentic desires born from their true selves versus conditioned wants, influenced by society, family, or ego. This discernment becomes a superpower in its own right, preventing years of pursuing accomplishments that hold no genuine fulfillment. The mindset shift required here involves embracing patience with the process. Manifestation isn't about instant materialization, it's about embarking on a collaboration with universal forces. You plant the seed with your intention, nurture it with your belief, and trust the natural unfolding of its growth. Each decision you make either reinforces or contradicts your stated intentions. This is where many find themselves sabotaging their manifestations without realizing it. The small, seemingly insignificant choices you make, moment to moment, create ripples that either accelerate or impede your progress. That's why awareness becomes such a critical component of effective manifesting. I'm curious about your own experiences with this. If you've noticed how your vibration directly impacts what shows up in your life, write in the comments, "My vibration creates my reality." Now, when we look at how to practically implement these principles in daily life, what's fascinating about manifesting precisely what you want is that it often unfolds through divine timing. This concept has transformed my perspective on the manifestation journey. When we become overly fixated on controlling exactly when our desires should materialize, we create an energetic resistance that actually pushes those desires further away. I've witnessed this pattern repeatedly with clients who were constantly checking their bank accounts, obsessively monitoring their dating apps, or frantically searching for evidence that their manifestation was working. This vigilance, this constant checking, sends a powerful message to the universe. I don't trust that my desire is coming. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, reflects that doubt right back. The revelation here is that manifestation thrives in an atmosphere of trust. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust the natural process. The same principle applies to your manifestations. Your job is to plant the seed through your clear intention and aligned energy, then allow the natural unfolding to occur without interference. This brings us to a profound mindset shift that completely revolutionizes the receiving process. True receiving is an art form that many overlook in their manifestation journey. It requires maintaining an open energy field, free from the hidden barriers we unconsciously create. Consider how you respond when someone offers you a genuine compliment. Do you accept it gracefully or do you deflect it with self-deprecation? That small interaction reveals volumes about your capacity to receive abundance in all forms. Each time you minimize a compliment, dismiss an opportunity, or rationalize why something good probably won't work out anyway, you're essentially telling the universe, "No, thank you. I'm not ready to receive." Behind the scenes of every successful manifestation is a person who has mastered the art of receptivity. They've learned to maintain what I call an open energy field, a state where they're genuinely available to receive without resistance. This doesn't mean passive waiting, it means active allowing. They've released the grip of control and entered a state of trust. I discovered this truth during a particularly challenging period in my own life when nothing seemed to be working. My breakthrough came not from pushing harder, but from surrendering more completely. When I finally released my grip on how and when my desires should manifest, the universe revealed pathways I couldn't have imagined. The impact of this approach extends far beyond material acquisition. It creates a fundamental shift in how you experience your daily life. You move from constantly striving and reaching to a state of graceful allowing. This doesn't mean you stop taking inspired action. Quite the opposite. Your actions simply come from a different place, not from desperation, but from inspiration. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how this receptive state actually aligns your energy with what you're calling in. When you're in resistance, constantly questioning where your manifestation is, you're vibrating at a frequency of lack and doubt. But when you shift into peaceful allowing, you naturally align with the vibration of already having received, which paradoxically accelerates the manifestation process. If this concept of divine timing and receptivity resonates with your manifestation journey, type "I surrender to divine timing" in the comments below. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic of faith and inner power because there's something transformative that happens when you truly align these forces within yourself. Manifestation isn't just about visualization techniques or saying the right affirmations, although those tools have their place. The real journey begins when you develop an unshakable knowing that transcends your current circumstances. Think about the last time you felt absolute certainty about something in your life. Perhaps it was a decision you made or an opportunity you pursued without hesitation. That internal compass that guided you wasn't based on external validation or evidence. It came from a deeper place of awareness and connection to your own wisdom. This is the hidden truth behind successful manifestation. When you trust your inner power completely, you're actually tapping into something far greater than just positive thinking. You're accessing a state of consciousness where the barriers between what you desire and what exists begin to dissolve. The universe doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your energetic state of being. Faith in this context isn't blind hope. It's a profound inner knowing that carries a specific resonance. When you embody the feeling of already having received what you seek, you create a powerful shift in your reality. You're no longer approaching life from a place of lack or need, but rather from a place of wholeness and completion. The journey toward this level of faith often requires a complete mindset revolution. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that certainty can only come after external proof appears. But the masters of manifestation throughout history have demonstrated that the opposite is true. Certainty must precede the physical manifestation. Your inner power has always been available to you, waiting to be fully embraced. When you finally make the decision to trust this power completely, you'll notice subtle shifts beginning to occur in your daily experiences. Synchronicities increase, resistance decreases, and the path forward becomes clearer even when the destination remains somewhat mysterious. This deep knowing doesn't mean you'll never experience doubt again. Even the most accomplished manifestors encounter moments of uncertainty. The difference is in how quickly they can return to their center, to that place of inner conviction that transcends momentary circumstances. Remember that manifestation is not about controlling outcomes with your mind. It's about aligning your entire being, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and energy with the frequency of what you desire. From this perspective, faith becomes less about hoping something will happen and more about recognizing the inevitable unfolding of what already exists in potential form. As you continue developing this relationship with your inner power, you'll discover that manifestation becomes less of a technique and more of a natural expression of who you truly are. Your desires themselves may evolve as you connect more deeply with your authentic self and the unique contribution you're here to make. If what I'm sharing resonates with your own experiences or intuitions about manifestation, write "inner knowing activated" in the comments. I'd love to see how many of you are connecting with this deeper level of manifestation work. Real abundance flows effortlessly through faith. It's not just about wanting things to happen or visualizing them obsessively. The universe responds to a deeper current, your genuine belief that what you're asking for is already on its way to you. When I first started understanding manifestation, I approached it like a transaction. I'll do this visualization exercise and the universe owes me results. But that's the mindset of scarcity disguised as manifestation work. True faith in abundance means releasing the desperate grip on outcomes. It's the profound understanding that abundance is your natural state, not something you need to fight for. When you operate from this foundation, manifesting becomes less about forcing and more about allowing. The energy shifts from "I need this to happen" to "I'm excited to see how this unfolds." This subtle transformation in perspective changes everything. Think about water flowing through a hose. When you kink the hose, desperately trying to control the flow, you actually block. What's trying to come through? Your doubt, anxiety, and need to micromanage the process create resistance. But when you trust and relax into faith, you unkink the hose. Suddenly, abundance flows naturally, often in ways more creative and fulfilling than you could have imagined. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how your environment shapes your manifestation power. Surround yourself with positivity to enhance manifestation. This principle transformed my practice completely. The people, spaces, and energies around us act as either amplifiers or dampeners for our manifestation abilities. Your external world is constantly reflecting and reinforcing your internal state. When you deliberately curate environments that support your vision, you create a powerful feedback loop. This isn't about toxic positivity or avoiding reality. It's about intentionally choosing influences that align with your highest aspirations. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their beliefs about abundance, success, and what's possible in life are quietly programming your subconscious. If they're constantly complaining, focusing on limitations, or dismissing dreams as unrealistic, their perspective becomes part of your mental operating system without you even realizing it. The revelation here is that manifestation isn't just an individual practice, it's a collective field of energy. When you surround yourself with others who understand these principles, who believe in possibilities rather than limitations, your own faith strengthens. Their belief becomes a bridge when your own faith wavers. This extends beyond people to your physical spaces too. Your home, workspace, even digital environment. All can be designed to reinforce abundance consciousness. Simple shifts like clearing clutter, adding elements that feel abundant to you, or creating a dedicated manifestation space can significantly impact your energetic field. Music, art, books, podcasts. These influences are feeding your subconscious mind constantly. Choose wisely what you consume. I discovered that even brief exposure to limiting beliefs or scarcity mindsets in media could disrupt my manifestation momentum for days. The journey toward manifesting effectively requires becoming incredibly discerning about what you allow into your mental and physical space. When you deliberately surround yourself with positivity, people who inspire you, environments that uplift you, content that expands your sense of what's possible, Manifestation becomes less of a practice and more of a natural state of being. Your default settings shift toward believing in abundance rather than scarcity. If something in this resonates with your experience, comment below with Faith Unlocks Flow and share how your environment has impacted your manifestation journey. The third major challenge on the manifestation journey is letting go. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's actually the secret ingredient that most manifestation teachings gloss over. When we're trying to manifest something important to us, we tend to grip it tightly, checking constantly for evidence that it's working, obsessing over when it will arrive. This attachment creates a frequency of lack and neediness that actually pushes your desires further away. Think about it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing, right? You trust the natural process. The same applies to manifestation. Once you've set your intention and aligned your energy, you need to release attachment to the outcome and trust in divine timing. I struggled with this for years. I would set intentions, do visualization practices, and then spend all day anxiously wondering when my manifestations would appear. My energy was scattered, and I was broadcasting doubt rather than certainty. It wasn't until I truly surrendered that things started flowing effortlessly. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means having faith that the universe is orchestrating events in perfect timing for your highest good. Sometimes what we think we want isn't actually what would serve us best, or perhaps the timing needs to be different for reasons we can't yet see. The transformation happens when you can genuinely say this or something better in divine timing. When you release attachment, you enter a state of allowing. You're no longer blocking the flow with resistance, doubt, and control. It's in this space of trust that manifestation accelerates. I've witnessed this countless times in my own journey and with clients. The moment they truly let go is often the moment before their desire materializes. Now, I want to go even deeper into the concept of resistance and how it affects your manifestation abilities. Resistance shows up as that voice of doubt, the feeling of unworthiness, or the fear that what you want won't happen. It creates a vibrational mismatch between you and your desires. Think of it like rowing against the current. You're working hard, but making little progress. The hidden truth about resistance is that it's actually information from your subconscious about where healing is needed. When you feel resistance around manifesting money, for example, that's not a sign to push harder. It's revealing limiting beliefs about abundance that need to be addressed. These revelations can be uncomfortable, but they're essential for your manifestation journey. What's been most impactful in my experience is treating resistance with curiosity rather than frustration. When you feel that internal pushback, pause and ask, what belief is creating this resistance? What past experience is this connected to? This mindful approach transforms resistance from a roadblock into a pathway for deeper self-understanding. Remember that manifestation isn't just about acquiring things or experiences. It's about becoming the version of yourself who is aligned with those desires. Here, inner work is where the real magic happens. As you clear resistance, you naturally expand your capacity to receive. Your energy field becomes more coherent, and manifestation becomes less about forcing outcomes and more about flowing with your natural state of abundance. This mindset shift from striving to allowing doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice that deepens over time as you build trust in the process. And trust isn't blind faith. It's confidence built through experience, through witnessing how things work out perfectly when you release control and allow universal intelligence to guide the timing and form of your manifestations. If this resonates with you, write "I surrender" in the comments below. Now let's explore how to recognize when your manifestation is actually on its way, even when you can't see physical evidence yet. True detachment isn't about forcing yourself not to care. It's about surrendering to the natural rhythm of life. When we rush manifestation, we're actually operating from a place of deep fear, aren't we? The fear that maybe what we want won't come or won't come fast enough. But the universe doesn't respond well to this energy of desperation. Instead, true detachment involves a profound trust in perfect timing. It's like planting a seed and understanding that no amount of digging it up to check on its progress will make it grow faster. In fact, that interference only disrupts the natural growth process. The transformation happens when we can finally release the white-knuckled grip we have on our desires. I've witnessed this journey in my own life. There were dreams I wanted so badly that I nearly crushed them with my intense focus. Only when I genuinely let go, not in resignation, but in trust, did the path forward reveal itself. This hidden truth about manifestation is what separates those who struggle from those who seem to effortlessly attract what they desire. Patience isn't passive. It's an active form of faith. Think about how a farmer works with the seasons rather than against them. They prepare the soil, plant the seeds, tend to the fields, but they don't stand over the ground commanding the crops to grow faster. They understand the natural cycles and work within them. The same applies to our manifestations. Impatience creates a frequency of lack, broadcasting to the universe that we don't believe what we want is actually coming. When we tap into the deeper mindset of trust, something remarkable shifts in our energy field. We stop pushing against the current and start flowing with it. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because there's a misconception that detachment means not caring about the outcome. That's not it at all. You can deeply desire something while simultaneously releasing your attachment to exactly how and when it arrives. This space between desire and surrender is where manifestation thrives. Consider how often the things we want most come to us in unexpected ways, frequently better than we could have planned ourselves. The universe has access to possibilities we can't even imagine from our limited perspective. By loosening our grip on the specifics, we open ourselves to receiving in ways that might far exceed our original vision. Behind the scenes of every successful manifestation is this delicate balance between intention and detachment. It's like dancing with the universe. You lead with your desires, but you also follow its guidance. This partnership creates a powerful momentum that carries you toward your goals with greater ease. What often goes unrecognized is how this practice of trusting the timing doesn't just bring you what you want, it transforms who you are in the process. The journey itself reshapes your relationship with desire, patience, and trust. You become someone who can hold both passionate intention and peaceful acceptance simultaneously. If you're resonating with this perspective on detachment and timing, write divine timing in the comments. I'm curious how many of you have experienced this delicate balance in your own manifestation practice. The fascinating alignment between ancient spiritual wisdom and modern scientific discovery brings us to a profound realization. These teachings about non-attachment weren't just philosophical ideals, they were practical guidelines for psychological well-being. When the Buddha taught about releasing attachment over 2,500 years ago, he was articulating what neuroscientists are now confirming in brain scans and psychological studies. Consider how scripture across traditions points to this truth. In the book of Ecclesiastes, we read that whoever loves money never has enough, highlighting the endless cycle of wanting. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that when a man dwells on objects, attachment to them is produced, showing an intimate understanding of how our minds create suffering. These weren't merely religious instructions, they were early insights into human psychology. The transformation that occurs when we practice non-attachment isn't just spiritual. It's neurological. Research has shown that meditation practices centered on non-attachment actually change the physical structure of our brain. The amygdala, our brain's fear and threat detector, becomes less reactive. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought and emotional regulation, strengthens its neural pathways. This journey toward non-attachment reveals something profound about our existence. We've been conditioned to believe that having more, achieving more, and controlling more will bring happiness. Yet the hidden truth beneath this cultural narrative is that these very pursuits often lead to greater dissatisfaction. The mind's tendency to crave and cling creates a perpetual sense of lack, even in abundance. What's particularly striking is how this wisdom transcends cultural boundaries. Whether it's Jesus teaching his followers not to worry about tomorrow, the Tao Te Ching advising us to practice non-doing, or Buddhist texts explaining that attachment is the root of suffering, the core message remains remarkably consistent across vastly different traditions and epochs. Harvard psychologist Dr. Susan David calls this practice emotional agility, the ability to face our thoughts and feelings with curiosity rather than being overwhelmed by them. Her research shows that people who can create space between themselves and their emotions make better decisions and experience greater well-being. This perfectly echoes what spiritual teachers have been saying for millennia. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining how non-attachment applies to our modern context. In an age of social media, instant gratification and constant comparison, these ancient teachings have never been more relevant or necessary. The constant exposure to others' carefully curated lives triggers our attachment mechanisms continuously, often without our awareness. The impact of practicing non-attachment extends beyond personal peace. When we release our grip on outcomes, expectations, and rigid identities, we create space for genuine connection with others. We become more present, more empathetic, and more capable of seeing situations clearly rather than through the distorted lens of our desires and fears. Behind the scenes of nearly every human struggle, from relationship conflicts to workplace stress, lies attachment in some form. Attachment to being right, to having things go our way, to avoiding discomfort at all costs. When we begin recognizing these patterns, even small shifts in our relationship to attachment can create ripple effects throughout our entire lives. What revelations have you experienced when releasing attachment in your own life? Take a moment to reflect on that. Have you noticed how letting go of controlling outcomes actually gives you more power, not less? If this resonates with your experience, write in the comments. Freedom comes through letting go. I'm curious to hear about your journey with non-attachment. Our beliefs have a profound impact on our energetic signature, creating a ripple effect in the manifestation process that many overlook. Think of your beliefs as the foundation upon which your entire energetic house is built. If your foundation is cracked with self-doubt or limiting perspectives, even the most powerful manifestation techniques will struggle to produce lasting results. What's fascinating about this inner landscape is how it colors everything you attract. When you hold beliefs like, "I'm not worthy of abundance," or "success always comes at a great cost," you're essentially programming your energetic field to repel the very things you consciously desire. This inner contradiction creates what I call manifestation resistance, where your conscious wants battle against your subconscious programming. This is why transformation begins from within. Examining and recalibrating your core beliefs isn't just some spiritual exercise. It's practical energy management. Each time you identify and release a limiting belief, you're literally raising your energetic frequency. And here's the revelation many miss. The universe doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your energetic state of being. Now, let's address something that completely shifts manifestation results. Conducting yourself from confidence rather than desperation. This distinction is Absolutely crucial. When you operate from a place of desperation, you're broadcasting a frequency of lack, urgency, and scarcity. The universe, in its perfect reflection, simply returns more experiences that match that desperate energy. Confidence, on the other hand, carries an entirely different signature. It's grounded in trust, certainty, and an inner knowing that what you desire is already making its way to you. This mindset creates space for manifestation rather than chasing and forcing. Outcomes. I've witnessed this countless times with clients who finally experience breakthroughs when they shift from desperately grasping to confidently allowing. The hidden truth here is that manifestation isn't about getting what you don't have. It's about aligning with what's already yours in potential form. This journey requires patience with yourself as you navigate the sometimes difficult terrain of your own conditioned patterns. Every time you catch yourself in desperation mode, perhaps checking constantly for results or feeling anxious about outcomes, you have an opportunity to recalibrate your energy. Practicing confidence doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it's about cultivating an unshakable inner certainty that transcends current circumstances. This is the profound mindset shift that separates occasional manifestors from those who consistently create their desired reality. You're essentially deciding to operate as if you already embody the version of yourself who has received what you're manifesting. I want to go even deeper into this concept of energetic alignment. Consider how differently you move through the world when you're absolutely certain of an outcome versus when you're desperately hoping for it. The decisions you make, the opportunities you notice, even your physical posture changes. This isn't superficial. It's the literal embodiment of different energetic frequencies. The most powerful manifestors understand that they must become, energetically, what they wish to experience. If you're manifesting financial abundance, you must embody the energy of abundance now, not once the money arrives. If you're calling in a fulfilling relationship, you must cultivate the feeling of being loved and valued in this moment. This energetic precedent is what creates the pathway for physical manifestation. If you're resonating with these concepts about energy and manifestation, write in the comments, "I'm aligning my energy now." Now I want to explore how this energetic alignment creates the perfect conditions for receiving. The control paradox is one of the most fascinating revelations I've encountered on my own journey of personal growth. When we grip too tightly to outcomes, we actually create resistance that blocks what we want from flowing into our lives. Think about it like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Trusting proactively isn't about passive surrender. It's about making an empowered choice to align with the natural unfolding of events while remaining engaged. This subtle mindset shift transforms how we approach everything from relationships to career goals. When you trust that things are working out for you, you begin noticing opportunities you might have missed while frantically trying to control every variable. I remember working with a client, let's call her Maya, who was micromanaging every aspect of her team at work. She tracked their time obsessively, required constant updates, and questioned every decision. The result? Her team felt suffocated, creativity plummeted, and turnover increased. When Maya began practicing proactive trust, setting clear expectations, then stepping back, something remarkable happened. Her team felt empowered, innovation flourished, and their results actually improved. The paradoxical truth is that by releasing control, Maya gained what she truly wanted. All along, this principle extends beyond the workplace into every area of life. Many of us approach our desires with a white-knuckled grip of anxiety. We believe if we don't constantly worry and micromanage, everything will fall apart. But what if the opposite is true? What if your obsessive control is actually creating the very outcomes you're trying to prevent? The hidden truth behind manifestation practices isn't about magical thinking. It's about aligning yourself naturally with what you desire by releasing resistance. When you're in a state of trust rather than control, you operate from a completely different energy signature. You make decisions from clarity rather than fear. You notice synchronicities that point you toward your goals. You remain flexible enough to adapt when better opportunities present themselves. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or goals. Instead, it means setting clear intentions, taking inspired action, and then, this is the crucial part, releasing your attachment to exactly how things must unfold. Nature doesn't force, it flows. And when you align with this natural rhythm, life becomes not only more effective, but infinitely more enjoyable. Notice where you might be creating unnecessary suffering through excessive control. Are you micromanaging your partner, obsessing over your health, constantly checking investment accounts? The areas where you feel the most anxiety are usually where you're gripping too tightly. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how this principle of releasing control creates a foundation for authentic power in your life. The kind of power that doesn't depend on forcing outcomes, but emerges naturally when you're aligned with your true nature. This shift represents one of the most profound transformations available to us, yet it's often misunderstood or overlooked entirely. If this resonates with your own experience, type "I'm learning to trust" in the comments below. I'm curious how many of you are already practicing this principle in your daily lives. The essential companion to divine timing is patience, a quality that's often in short supply in our instant gratification world. We've become conditioned to expect immediate results, same-day delivery, on-demand entertainment, instant messages. But the universe operates on a different timeline altogether. When we're aligned with divine timing, we're required to cultivate patient faith. This is where many spiritual seekers stumble on their journey. They understand intellectually that timing is divine, but emotionally they struggle with the waiting period. Think of it as planting a seed in your garden. You wouldn't dig it up every day to check if it's growing, would you? Yet we do exactly this with our manifestations and dreams, constantly checking, worrying, and inadvertently disrupting the very process we're trying to nurture. Patient faith means trusting the unseen workings of the universe, even when there's no visible evidence of progress. It's about continuing to water your seeds of intention without demanding to see sprouts before their time. This requires a profound inner transformation that few discuss openly, moving from a mindset of control to one of surrender. I've experienced this firsthand during periods when it seemed like nothing was happening in my life. Projects stalled, opportunities vanished, and I felt stuck in a holding pattern. What I couldn't see was the massive reorganization happening behind the scenes, as the universe was clearing outdated energies and aligning new possibilities that I couldn't yet imagine. The waiting period isn't empty space. It's fertile ground where your future is taking root. Every delay carries hidden wisdom. Every setback contains a redirection to something better aligned with your highest good. When we resist these delays, we create unnecessary suffering. There's a beautiful practice I've adopted that might serve you too. Appreciating the divine unfolding exactly as it is. Instead of focusing on what hasn't happened yet, I've learned to recognize the perfection in the present moment's orchestration. This shift in perspective is revolutionary for your manifestation practice. When you genuinely appreciate the universe's plan, acknowledging that its wisdom far exceeds your limited perspective, you enter a state of receptivity that actually accelerates your manifestations. Gratitude becomes not just a practice, but a gateway to receiving more of what you desire. Think about those moments in your past when something you desperately wanted didn't materialize, only to make way for something far better. From your current vantage point, you can probably identify dozens of instances where divine timing worked in your favor. even when it felt like disappointment in the moment. This isn't about passive waiting, it's about active appreciation. During periods of apparent stillness, the universe is actively rearranging countless variables to bring you your highest good. Your job isn't to micromanage this process, but to remain open to possibilities you haven't even conceived of yet. The mystery of divine timing reveals itself most profoundly when we stop demanding that life conform to our expectations. There's a certain liberation in releasing the need to control every aspect of your manifestation journey. This surrender isn't weakness. It's acknowledging the vast cosmic intelligence that orchestrates your life, with far greater wisdom than your conscious mind could engineer. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how divine timing intersects with the concept of divine order, the perfect sequence of events leading to your highest expansion and joy. There's a hidden revelation here that changed everything in my own spiritual practice. If this resonates with your experiences, write divine timing in the comments below. I'm curious how many of you have witnessed this mysterious force working in your life. That's why clarity is so fundamental to manifesting what we want. When we're crystal clear about our destination, we allow our intuition to guide us there. Think about it like this. Have you ever tried to reach a destination without knowing exactly where it is? You might eventually stumble upon it, but the journey will be filled with unnecessary detours and frustration. The universe responds to precision, not confusion. Many people spend years chasing vague goals like more money or better relationships without defining what those actually look like in their lives. This lack of specificity is often what blocks our manifestations. When I finally got serious about manifesting my dream home, I didn't just visualize a nice house. I specified the number of bedrooms, the type of neighborhood, even the feeling I wanted when walking through the front door. The transformation in my results was immediate. The journey of manifestation isn't just about the destination, though. It's about who you become in the process. When you commit to absolute clarity, you develop an inner compass that serves you in every area of life. You begin to recognize what truly matters to you versus what society has conditioned you to want. This revelation can be uncomfortable at first because it might mean acknowledging that the path you've been on isn't aligned with your authentic desires. Now, I want to go even deeper into the critical difference between inspired action and forced action. This distinction is perhaps one of the hidden truths that separates those who manifest with ease from those who struggle despite their efforts. When you take inspired action, it feels like you're being carried by a current. There's effort involved, certainly, but there's also a sense of flow that makes the work feel energizing rather than depleting. Contrast this with forced action, which comes from a place of fear or lack. Have you noticed how exhausting it feels to push yourself to do something you believe you should do, but don't actually feel called to do? That's the energetic signature of forced action, and it rarely leads to successful manifestation because it's misaligned with your authentic self. I remember a period in my business when I was taking all the right actions, according to experts, networking at events I dreaded, creating content that didn't excite me, pursuing clients I didn't truly want to work with. The impact was predictable. Minimal results despite maximum effort. Everything shifted when I began to follow my intuition and take only those actions that felt aligned, even when they contradicted conventional wisdom. The subtle art of discernment between these two types of action requires developing a relationship with your inner guidance system. It means learning to recognize the difference between anxiety-driven urgency and genuine inspiration. When you're aligned with inspired action, synchronicities begin to appear, resources show up unexpectedly, and what once seemed impossible starts unfolding with surprising ease. This doesn't mean the path is always smooth. Blockages and challenges still appear, but they serve as redirections rather than roadblocks. Each obstacle becomes an invitation to reassess, refine your clarity, and realign with your truth. This perspective shift transforms the manifestation journey from a frustrating battle to an evolving conversation between you and the universe. If you're resonating with what I'm sharing here, I'd love to know. Write aligned action in the comments if you've experienced the difference between pushing against the current versus flowing with inspired guidance. Now, as we explore this distinction further, the power of the internal state cannot be overlooked when discussing manifestation. Cultivating peace within yourself creates a resonance that attracts similar energies. When your mind is in chaos, frantically chasing desires, you're actually pushing away the very things you want. It's in those moments of surrender, of deep inner stillness, that the universe seems to respond most profoundly. Trust plays an equally critical role in this journey. Many of us sabotage our manifestations through persistent doubt. We plant the seed of intention, but then dig it up every few days to see if it's growing. This constant questioning disrupts the natural process of manifestation. The masters of manifestation understand that after setting an intention, they must release it with complete trust in the process, allowing the universal intelligence to work through its own perfect timing and methods. This surrender requires a fundamental shift in perspective. It's about recognizing that manifestation isn't just about acquiring things or experiences, but about the transformation of consciousness itself. When you evolve into someone who embodies the frequency of what you desire, you no longer need to chase it externally. It becomes your natural experience. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how gratitude serves as the ultimate catalyst for abundance. Gratitude isn't just a nice spiritual practice. It's a powerful, energetic state that fundamentally alters your relationship with abundance. When you practice consistent gratitude, you're making a profound declaration to the universe. I recognize and appreciate what I already have. This declaration works on multiple levels. First, it shifts your perception from lack to abundance, allowing you to see the wealth that already exists in your life. Second, it raises your vibrational frequency to align more closely with the energy of abundance itself. And third, perhaps most importantly, it creates a cycle of receiving. The universe responds to gratitude by providing more experiences for which to be grateful. Many people misunderstand gratitude as something reserved for when good things happen. But the true revelation comes when you discover that gratitude is most powerful when practiced regardless of external circumstances. It's easy to feel grateful when everything is going well. The transformative practice is maintaining that gratitude during challenges, recognizing that even difficulties contain precious lessons and opportunities for growth. What's fascinating is how this consistent practice begins to reshape your neural pathways. Your brain actually becomes more adept at recognizing positive aspects of your experience. Scientists call this the reticular activating system. Essentially, your brain begins filtering reality differently, highlighting opportunities and blessings that may have always been there but remained unnoticed. This isn't spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. It's a grounded practice of acknowledging the full spectrum of life while choosing to emphasize appreciation. Many who adopt this practice report not just psychological benefits, but tangible shifts in their financial situation, relationships, and creative output. Abundance begins flowing not because the external world suddenly changes, but because their relationship to abundance transforms from within. The hidden truth behind manifestation is that it's less about bending external reality to your will and more about aligning your internal reality with what you wish to experience. This alignment creates a natural pathway for abundance to flow into your life effortlessly, rather than through constant striving and struggle. If what I'm describing resonates with your experience, write in the comments. Gratitude has changed my reality. I'm curious to hear how this principle has played out in your own life's journey. If you've stayed with me through this exploration of manifestation, gratitude, and inner alignment, I hope these insights have sparked something meaningful within you. The journey of consciousness is ultimately a personal one, but we grow stronger when we share our experiences with each other. I'd love for you to be part of this ongoing conversation. Subscribe to this channel if you're interested in diving deeper into these transformative practices together. The community here is genuinely supportive of each person's unique path. If this message particularly resonated with you today, leave a comment saying, "Gratitude has changed my reality." I read every comment and find such value in hearing your stories and perspectives. And if you found value in what we explored today, a simple like helps these ideas reach others who might benefit from them too. There's a video right here that explores the practical daily habits that can help anchor these principles into your everyday experience. Click and continue with me over there, where we'll transform these concepts into lived experience together.